Okay guys, in this video we're going to do an unboxing for the Traxxas Maxx. Now I put a poll out and you guys picked the Mojave, which is up on the top there, as the one you wanted to see, but I really did like both cars, at least on the outset, so I went and got another one. Now this one runs in right around $550 at your local hobby store, and it's a pretty cool looking car. You know, it's 4S, it's 10 scale, but again, it's big for a 10 scale, and you guys know how I feel about 10 scale cars. So we're going to go ahead and get this out of the box today. We're going to go over what's inside, and then we're going to take it out and we're going to test it. And you know how we test things, we run things a little harder than we should. What I try to do in these tests is I run it past the practical application. And what I mean by that is, let's say a new person gets one of these. They're all excited, they put 4S in it because it's a 4S car and they want to see what it does. So they get on it and they pin it and they run it a little harder than they probably should. They don't hit the ramp square. You know, they run off the corners a little hot, they tumble, they cartwheel, and that's the kind of testing we do. I've had comments where people say, you know, you're a terrible driver. Keep in mind, guys, I drive that way for the channel. I raced for over 10 years. I know how to drive these. Now, what I do is I try to drive it as a rookie would drive it, so people that are buying one of these from the beginning know how tough these are for what they put them through. And that's the whole point here, guys. We're going to show you what comes in the box. We're going to go over everything, you know, and we're not going to go deep in depth. There's several channels out there that do that. Myself, I put these through a basic test of what the average rookie would go through. I let you know how durable they are, and then I give them a rating at the end. Now keep in mind, guys, the unboxing rating is one thing. The brutal review ratings that come 4 months later when these have been thoroughly tested is something altogether different. So let's get on the bench and let's pull this out of the box. Okay guys, but before we get into the car, let's go ahead and show you what comes in the box. We've got the radio and the packet. Check this out. All right, so first, let's have a look at the radio. Now this TQ or top qualifier is Traxxas's version, and it's a pretty good radio. It's 2.4 gigahertz. It has steering trim, gyro control there for your stability management, self-right button, and it has the menu button. Everything goes together real nice. Batteries in the bottom. Trigger feels real good. And, you know, so does the steering. Feels good in the hand. Real nice. Okay guys, this is what comes in the packet. Now you get your tool kit and it's got a tire wrench, a couple of Allens in there, pretty basic kit here. It's got some foam blocks and pads for the battery chamber so you can size it to the batteries that you use. It has a warranty card, fill that out, mail it in, that's your warranty information. Here's a pamphlet right here that explains the radio and all the options that it has in there. here's the pamphlet here that shows you how to use your stability control system. It's really straightforward, easy to understand. Your quick start manual here that'll get you up and running right away. The actual manual here, this one doesn't look like much, but it does have all the necessary information you're going to need for the car in it, how things go together, how they come apart, part numbers, part sizes, and that kind of thing. And then here's some aftermarket options that you have: batteries, chargers, telemetry systems, and all that cool stuff. So that's what comes in the packet. All right, guys, so that's what comes in the box. Now let's dig into the car and show you what makes this one cool. Okay, the Traxxas Maxx. Let's get the body off. So you have to take this tab here, rotate it counterclockwise, and then lift. Nice. Grab it by the handle and pick it up, pull it back, and it comes right off in your hand. Right here attaches to this little crossbar. Same thing on the back. So you need to push the front down, push forward, lock it, come on, there we go, lock it down and turn it clockwise. Now it's latched on, really stable. The servo is the same size as what comes in the Xmaxx. The speed control is 4S and plenty big enough to handle the power. On the motor, it's a 540 cam, 2400 kV, and it's got a really good fan on it to keep everything nice and cool. As far as the battery tray goes, getting into the battery tray is pretty simple. Push and roll back, pull the wiring out of the way, lay it back down over your battery and snap it in. No Velcro, no nothing, it's nice and easy. This is an optional spacer right here, and this allows you to change the size of your batteries and still hold them in place. Real easy, real smooth. Go ahead and lock this back down. Nice. The shocks on this are aluminum barreled. They're pretty good size and they do travel nice and smooth. The drive lines are plastic, and you can get the steel upgrades, but they are plastic in this particular out-of-the-box model. Looking at the back here, we've got a pretty good wheelie bar that should work out pretty well. It's got nice big bearinged wheels on it. Same shocks on there. It's got the same kind of drive axles on it, plastic. So it's real uniform front to back. Now below this cover, you've got your pinion and you've got your secondary gear there, which is a gear reduction, goes down to the differential underneath it. Taking a look at the twin bell cranks on the front, this is your steering mechanism. Right there, connects directly to the servo, and your radio box is right here. Underneath here, a skid plate. Right there, you've got a cover for the drive axle that goes to the front and a skid plate in the front. Now right here, those are steel, and those are your hinge pin ends that hold everything tight. They're actually steel, guys. In the front, you've got this nice big loop here which works like a shock absorber so the front can flex. Steering is real smooth. Let's have a look at this though, guys. Check this out. That's its big brother right there. That's the Xmaxx tire and wheel. Look at the difference between those two cars. Isn't that something? I mean, really, it's a huge difference, guys. As far as the suspension goes, this one's brand new, but it does move nice and smoothly. The Xmaxx, it's a lot more dense because of the weight it carries. So again, turn it counterclockwise, lift the tab, lift up, work it back, right there. There's the latch mechanism, guys. And take one more look at the Maxx. Okay guys, so that's what comes in the box, and you know what's inside the car now. The only thing left to do is to take it out and test it. So check this out. Okay guys, here we go. First run. Okay guys, there you have it, the Traxxas Maxx first run. And you know, we ran a total of 4 batteries through that. You got to see the first one. We went out and we bashed it through the trees and whatnot, what we normally do to put our test on it. We brought it back, we ran it on pavement, we ran it in the yard, and we ran it over average dirt and debris, the kind of things that you would normally do. Now, to keep the video short, we showed you the first run. But having run 4 batteries, I'd have to say I got a pretty good grip on how that car behaves. Now, it is a little bit tall. I mean, come on guys, it's a monster truck. There's a lot of ground clearance under there, and that makes it sit a little high center of gravity. So if you get into a traction situation, which would be the yard, by the way, guys. If you're out in the yard playing in the grass and you get up to speed and you turn left really quick, you're gonna roll it. That's just the way it's gonna work. It's got a high center of gravity and it's going over. So when you're in a high traction situation, just like any tall monster truck, you have to slow her down a little bit and drive a little more carefully. That's just how it goes with these. as far as this with the 540 2400 kilovolt motor in it. I got to tell you, this thing's got a lot of power. And when you get it out on the asphalt, get it in anything smooth with some traction, it stands up right now and you can run wheelies all day with it. It's pretty impressive. You do have to pedal a little bit to keep it from doing dumb stuff and crashing. But if you can pedal that throttle just a little bit, you can keep it up on those rear wheels and you can run it all the way out. It's really cool to watch. As far as that goes, the body did come off it a few times, and it's the same as the Xmaxx. Now, you know, this is the Max, this is the Xmaxx. Look at the difference, guys. Huge difference in size, and this is a very durable truck. Now, shrink that down, take some of the weight away, and that's what you have here, which should make this a very durable truck as well. With all the pounding we put on it and the bashing and stuff, we didn't break anything, so it is holding up really well. However, I did refrain from putting it on the ramps because, well, come on guys, it's plastic. And, you know, I didn't really feel comfortable hitting the big ramps with it. I do like to hit ramps with a lot of stuff, but knowing how this is, knowing how the chassis flexes, because I've experienced it on the big one, knowing how that's going to do it, I just didn't feel comfortable piling this through the ramps, at least not right away. So keeping it off the ramps, it still handles very well. When you get in the looser stuff, it's a little squirrely, but it's still a blast to play with. And if you're just going to get it for average use, and what I mean by that, guys, is you get it, you come home, you charge it up, you go out in the yard and you play. You go out in the alley behind the house and play. You go to the parking lot and play. Dude, this is perfect for that application. It's fast, it's fun, it's durable, it stunts like crazy, and you know, the battery lasts a pretty long time. So let's see what it is we're actually stacking this up against. Now, this is the Max, of course, this is the Xmaxx, and this is the version for Creighton right here. Now, we've got 10 scale here, 8 scale here, and whatever they're gonna call that big one at the end. It can be 6 scale, some people call it 7th. I don't really care, it's huge, that's all I care about. So these two are real similar, and this is the two that I compare because of their styling, their size. You know, the tires are bigger on the Creighton, but of course, it's a larger model. However, they both are designed to do about the same thing. Go out, pile through stuff, have a blast, be durable, and be really quick and fast. This will stand up and do wheelies. The difference being this has a metal chassis and it's a really durable car. So I have absolutely no qualms at all about putting that on the ground and pinning it full on to see what happens at a ramp. This one, on the other hand, I just am not comfortable doing that. And this is just a matter of, I won't intentionally go out and thrash something. It's not what we're here for, guys. If I think it's going to break it, and for senselessness, I won't do it. And so putting that on the ramp right away didn't seem like a good idea. So we skipped that because I won't do it if I don't feel comfortable. As far as the comparison goes now, I really like the way this handles. Notice how it sits a little lower. It crouches a bit more. It's a little wider. It's a bit longer. When you get into the yard and you're running around in the grass, that will turn a lot sharper than that will without cartwheeling. Now, they do have something, check this out, guys. They do have something to help remedy that, and it's this. This is the Max widening kit. Now, I haven't put this on it because I wanted to see what this was like right out of the box, and it is very cool. I don't really think it needs this. As long as you drive respectfully in the corners, it handles really good. This doesn't really become necessary, but I can see why people want to put them on, because if you don't have one of these, that's a pretty simple way to turn that into one of those as far as width goes, so that you can turn a little better. If you lower your shocks a little bit, you can get that center of gravity down, and it will handle a bit more like a Creighton. Problem is, guys, it'll never be one. If you want that off-the-ramp thrill that you can get from the ARMA cars, and there's a couple of companies out there that really do that well, and I'm sure that the Max will be able to handle the ramps, but that's something we'll have to find out for the Brutal review, and we are definitely going to run it over the ramps for that one, guys. But as it stands, straight out of the box, this thing is very cool. We had no damage and it handled perfectly. We didn't change anything inside of it. We didn't change the gearing. We changed nothing. We put a 4S battery on it and turned it on. Away we went. Now, you know what that leaves, guys? It leaves our 4 questions. And those questions are: number 1, was it fun? Number 2, was it durable? Number 3, was it worth the money? And number 4, the one we don't really rate, guys, where does it stack up in my collection? So let's start off with number 1. Was it fun? Hell yeah, this little car is an absolute blast to play with. And I say that a lot, but usually I pick cars that work for me in the first place. So it's a rare idea just thinking about when I get a car that doesn't work for me. I don't buy cheap ones generally. I buy the ones that are highly rated, and I get them out and check them out. So this one, it's an utter blast to play with. It's really durable, it's fast, it stunts really good. And as far as that goes, this one gets 9 out of 10 for fun. And question number 2, is it durable? Well, yeah, it's durable. We ran 4 batteries through it. We weren't playing nice, and we broke literally nothing. Nothing came loose. We didn't have any wheels come loose. We didn't have any gearing issues. We didn't have any grinding issues. Everything worked as advertised. Coming out of the box, it's pretty fast the way it's geared. We did run 4S. It will run smaller batteries than that, but we did want to see what it would do to its capacity. So running 4S, it ran really good, it ran really strong, battery life was good, and we broke nothing. So for this one, we're going to give you 9 out of 10 for durability. Number 3, is it worth the money? Now this is always a subjective one, guys, because it is a relatively expensive vehicle. Most of these cars, when you get up in this size range, you are looking at a substantial amount of money. Running in at just over $500, the Traxxas Maxx is a substantial purchase. However, if you are going to get one anyway, and you are looking to get one that is exciting and kind of a jack of all trades as far as what it can do, the Traxxas Maxx fits that bill. So as far as, is it worth the money? You know, if money's tight for you, it may not be worth it. Okay, let's be honest. You can get a lower grade model that will do about the same thing. However, if you can afford it, I highly recommend the Traxxas Maxx. For its size, it's a blast. For what it can do, what it's good for, where you can use it, all that good stuff, I think it's worth the money. However, it is still pretty expensive, so in this one I'm going to give this rating 8 out of 10 for value. Okay guys, and question number 4. Where does this stack up in my collection? Well guys, take a look at it. It's pretty cool. It's a sweet rig, it's well designed, it's really solid, everything's put together good, and it's really resilient. It's fun to play with, and I have no complaints about the radio, the way it works, or the car. However, I do have a lot of cars that I think a little higher of. So rating this out, guys, I'm going to have to put this one in 9th place, right behind the Laser Nut. So the Laser Nut is holding down 8th place at the moment in my collection. This one straight out of the box jumps into 9th. Hopefully by the time I get done with the Brutal review, it can move up the ladder some. But like I say, guys, I favor 8th scale vehicles, and this is a 10th. So that's probably why it's down the chain so far. Don't let that bother you guys. It's still an awesome car. I just have a lot of awesome cars. So it still rates very good, and it's definitely in my top 10. Hey guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. It's awesome when you do, and it means a lot to us here at the channel. And don't forget that notification bell to stay informed. You know, we try to be accurate here. We try to do all we can to stay on top of what's going on and give you an absolute honest opinion. However, keep in mind, guys, that each one of these cars, each one that you see on the shelf, we have to buy ourselves. None of us here are rich. We have to work every day to earn the money to buy these. We're not assisted by anyone, which means, 1, we get to be a lot more accurate on what we say because we don't have to worry about a sponsor or any of that stuff. But 2, it does put us a little behind the curve on when we can get our cars. We try to get them early, but at the same time, we have to be able to afford them. So that's just kind of how that goes, guys. As far as the video itself and the Maxx, if you have any mods, any upgrades, anything that you can add to help others, please feel free to leave it in the comment box down below and help others along the way. Hey guys, I'm AJ with AJ Jam Studios saying, keep bashing, guys.